Welcome guys to a new video on this channel. Today we have a very weird deck profile for me at least. I came top 8 with this list in BCS Netherlands. So I'm really happy for that. I made top cut for both days. First day with Ballista, second day with Steam Maintenance. The first deck I will not do any deck profile or share anything on my Twitter. Because it's literally the same list I've been using for the rest of the season. But for this top cut I played Steam Maiden, and I haven't actually been playing Vanguard much lately. I haven't played it for like I believe 2 months ish, because I have been playing a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh lately. But I still want to play into the BCS, and a funny story about that is that I didn't have anything prepared for the event. I just played my standard like Ballista deck because it hasn't changed at all, but I didn't know what to bring for premium. I was talking with a bunch of friends of mine. They advised me like multiple decks. I even got like Narukami and stuff ready to play it during Netherlands. But I decided whenever I come back at home to decide which deck I want to bring, and I just played Gear Chronicle like I have always been, and purely the pure reason I played like Gear Chronicle is just because I enjoy it the most. But I didn't have any list, any idea what I want to bring. Of course, as people know, I played Time Leap during Austria, but I believe like Time Leap is literally fucked up garbage. I didn't want to play that because it felt so bad to play. It was super enjoyable, but it was super bad. So I decided to play Steam Maintenance. And keep this in mind, this is at like 2 o'clock at night that I decided to play Steam Maintenance. I still had to build a deck. I still had to make a deck for itself, like grab the cards and figure out what the ratios I want to bring. I didn't play test anything for the last 2 months, and I still made top cut. So really enjoyable to do. I really enjoyed the tournament. I won 7-0 in Swiss, and then lost into top cut unfortunately. But so be it, because I already have my invite for Worlds since I got first place at Worlds like the year before this, of course. I will show you my deck. I will let you guys know the theory behind this, because everything is based on theory. Didn't test anything, and it worked wonderful. That's the funniest part. It worked all like perfect. So I will put this here. I will go over the deck. I played, of course, CHRONOJET as my starter. Pure logical, I would say. Nothing really that you can change about it. So yeah, we'll just put it here. I don't know. I played 2 Time Leaper. I played just the normal CHRONOJET package of V. This, like I would say, Time Leaper has become more important because Ride Down is still strong in my opinion in this current format. It's still not dead. Like you can normally, like if you don't Ride Down and you were just Ride Up, you give your opponent a strong stride, and if you Ride Down, you give your opponent a usual less like not that good of a stride. It's still a stride nonetheless. So Ride Down is still strong. You can search the very beautiful cards out of this that are very specifically at 1 unfortunately. But so be it, and it's just you need to, for the consistency, that you at least have one when you Ride Down. You don't need multiples of it anymore, or like ways to recycle it in my opinion in the premium format, because of the fact that you only usually Ride Down once, then your opponent rides up, goes either into its sweep position or go into history collections, right? So that's really it. Because this is a Steam Maiden deck, I played Elo at 4. I will also show you guys immediately the other page that I play. And I played CHRONOJET at 3 copies. The ratios of this is really like awkward to find out at first. But essentially how it works is a Steam Maiden deck at score. So you always want to have a Steam Maiden name on your Vanguard. In that way your skills are always live. But if you write CHRONOJET, you may have a very strong first retreat turn. But if you don't have a Steam Maiden name after that, then your Steam Maiden doesn't activate, and then you're not doing anything, you're not pushing for anything, and you're just sitting there bluntly. So you always want to have your Elo right. You most of the time I want to have your CHRONOJET, but Elo White is more important than your CHRONOJET. Like, if you have your Elo White, at least you do something in your grade 3 turn that's still quite impactful. CHRONOJET less so. So that's why I played the 4-3. I want to actually play 4 CHRONOJETs, but I couldn't find a space around it, unfortunately. And then from other grade 3s, because yes, I play more grade 3s, and I really dislike that for the fact that I had to play so many. But you need to do that to make payoff for this deck. I played 2 Re-Innovate. As you guys may know, we got hit with the ban list that put Entrana to 1. And with that, you had a really weird way on getting grade 3s in the right zone. Of course, you could use Elo, put grade 3s in the right zone, but you usually already want to like multi-attack with Elo before the Vanguard swings and resets everything. So that's why I played Re-Innovate. And also, Gearcat is still at 4, and that's really huge. Because of the fact like you can essentially bind random stuff, try to call Gearcat out of the top, and it plus insanely hard of that. So it's a very good card in that sense. And also when you give your opponent first strike, you can just let it sit behind the back row, right? Call 2 random cards out of the top 3 and bind 1. So you can also set up your binds incredibly well. And then use it for Bear Lock to also have a grade 3 in the binder and gain 20k shield of it. So you get a skill on the field and it's 20k shield at the same time. So that's what's really insane about this card, and unfortunately you need it because you need a solid way to enable your bind zone, and you can search it out of the deck, of course. I play 4 Elo. You could say you need less copies of this, but I still think it's like as important as it usually is to find your Steam main names. Because I have experimented in the past before Worlds playing 3 copies, but I want to have as many copies as possible to find of the top 2 of Entrana. Now that we don't play Entrana at 4 anymore, that's not that important anymore as it used to be, but it's still important to like have it on hand, start your turns already with your grade 3 in your bind zone, and attack with Elo, go into grade 3, convert it into that, and then call it off Slishma, of course. So still 4 copies because you need to hard draw it more than you usually did, and that's why I play it at 4 essentially. And also Steam main names for more consistency. Then we come to the tricky part of this card, and there's a story behind this. I was looking through the wiki, and I do usually do this always when I try to search for cards, and I already knew of this card existence. It was already on my mind before, but now I think it was the perfect format for it, and it's this card. And this card is very wonderful. I will first explain its second skill. It has resist, and it's same as Steam main, but it's 9k base. Why would you play this? First of all, it's another name that you can find of Gearcat, so it has more consistency. But what I was most scared about was against the Chaos and the Narikami matchup. Those are the worst matchup for this deck, and the ones that kill this deck the easiest. Because whenever your 2 front rows get locked, you cannot do Slishma anymore, and that sucks. If you play against Narikami, they bind everything, so you think, oh that's good. No it doesn't, because they can just go stun first and kill you. Or they go Bulwark and you cannot multi-attack anymore. With this card on the field, you nuke both of them at the same time. So whenever you play against Chaos, you put this card on the force marker, and they cannot effectively lock it, right? The only way they can essentially lock it is if you overcode with the Luge. Chaos Universe doesn't work because the card you need to call from hand needs to go to an open rearguard circle. So as long as you like occupy this like the force marker circle, this card is insane based on that. They try to attack it, you recycle it, call it again, and keep on that like rotation going, so you still can do your multi-attacks. Also, the reason why I played Steam maintenance is because it very works well against Homely, and that was also what I had in mind, but I will explain it later. Its first skill was the biggest bait of them all. Like, many people read this card, thought like, what the fuck, sign it on my thing, and kept grade 1s and G cards in hand. I wouldn't expect people to do that. That's not the reason why I play this card, but people did it actually and misplayed because of that. Because it first kills essentially whenever a opponent's records goes to bottom deck, you can counter +1 and give it silent tomb effect. But I don't have any way to put cards from my opponent to the bottom of the deck. So I cannot activate its first skill, but people like misplay based on that, which is like actually like it was funny to experience, sad for the opponents, but yeah, it's so be it, right? Like I didn't play with that deception in mind, but people expected because they saw this card that I was playing Kurunta, and sometimes even didn't give me like 2 CB, which is like more funny because if you have 2 CB, you go Kurunta into Entrana Mega Plus for that, right? So this card helped me against the Chaos matchup. And against Narukami, when you have 2 of these in the front row, they cannot do Exterminate, they cannot do like whatever they want. The only thing they can get rid of this is by attacking into it. But if they attack into it, the front row is literally garbage. It's literally like 14k and stuff like that. So you're fine with that because you can still recycle it. Or they Chowo it, which puts it into the bind zone. Because Chowo chooses the column and not the unit. And then that way, like, they need to spend the CB to get rid of it, and also a CB to make use of the restands and stuff. And it's also mistiming for the Exterminator to draw. So they don't plus very hard on it. And essentially, when they are out of CB, it's whenever you win the game. But even then, like, having multiples of these in the front, like 2 of these in the front row, it's just insane against Narukami. Also, what I want to say, if you have like a steam main and multi-text on one side, you have this on the other side, normally you would be super scared because you attack with this bunch, it gets bulwarked or something like that. And then if this would be a normal unit, and you attack with it, you will be scared that it gets bulwarked again, and then you cannot do like Slishma line. Bulwark doesn't work because it chooses the unit, so Recess bypasses that. So you can safely attack with this, which is just another attack for free with it. Oh, wrong spell. Then I played Tunabu. This was like the most questionable board out of the deck. I already knew when I was going into the tournament, but because you don't play 4 Entranas anymore, binding can be super awkward sometimes, and because my grade 1s most of the time put units into the drop zone for me to bind, this card is effectively immediate life on grade 2. But you usually need a great White Archer plus Nabu to be that will be effective. That was not the hard part. I like Nabu because I was thinking maybe I need a little bit of more soul. In the end, I never need a really soul of Nabu for that. But Nabu was just like very nice there to help me in like awkward scenarios. But I see this being switched for something else though. Well, Antoana, unfortunately, but if we played more of this card, people would actually start crying. I don't know, like something with top 4, Maxime, I opened the Antoana, I survived everything. I don't know, I really like this card, but it's mega broken, so that's really it, you need to play it still. The good card, the good part of this is that you can find it Time Leaper Dragon early in the game. If your opponent doesn't get rid of it, you can just Slishma it, go multiple times, still plus insanely hard of it. And like, just be very happy that you have it with 1 instead of banned in P. I played Walk-Up of Illum. I liked it because I want to have as much consistency as possible. Normally we have Antoana for consistency, but since we play 1, we don't have that. Finding Antoana early is also very, very strong. So I want to have the +2 of its skill, just for consistency reasons, and having pluses in the early game outside of like the usual engines is pretty strong because you don't have much draw power left in the deck. And the other part is just a good record to have to start multi-attacking if you already have Alo on hand. Because talk, what I did earlier with having Alo on hand is good, because when you have Alo on hand, you already have a grade 3 in your bind zone. Opening this plus Alo is full combo, because Alo goes into grade 3 and grade 3 attacks, and then this attacks extends into Alo Alo is overgotten the grade 3 that you just got of the first Alo. Bind it with the Alo, and then Alo extends it to grade 3, which is like 4 Alos in one sentence. But you essentially have full combo if you just have one grade 3 intervention, which is why I was like super going forward into that. So that's why I played it as a 4 of. I can see it being played as 3 of, maybe as 2 of, but that's risky in my opinion. For Gearcat, at least we got this consistency card. Really happy we still have this. I think this card is also insane. I dropped this like when you ever write grade 1, you go plus 2 of this. If you open 2, get to rush. It's just really powerful because you just get cards back usually because of the amount of remaining we play. That's really it. Lost CHRONOJET. So what I just talked about with Naboo is that this puts a card in drop zone for Naboo. This also puts a card in drop zone for Naboo. And you can just search a blonde grade 3, immediately bind with Naboo, and have grade 3's access again for Alos and stuff. So another way to have that engine going. Can search we innovate, and I just like it as a beautiful strike form. One TikTok, I wanted to have something for a payer for Ravana, because Ravana is one of the best G-cards Gears has. So that's why I played that one for the payoff of it. And we also have a second payoff in the form of another great general we play. TikTok can also like help you unbreak, and because it's searchable, it's actually a really good card to have. For hard dump, because the new crits are really strong. I really like them. That's really it. You never really need the soul, but that's so be it. To stride crit, because striding is really good. You don't want to like ditch your grade 3s usually, because if you face McGonagall, it's really awkward. And also for the fact that you usually want to ride your grade 3s as much as possible. This is the second payoff that I play because of like Ravana. So you have 2 callable targets of Ravana. This is the lesser one, but it's still a payoff card that you can use. For RPGs, I couldn't really find any space for Sanctitude, which actually killed me in the top 8 match, because I played against OTT. But so be it. Like, the format is really wide. You cannot play everything for like all the decks that are out there. I still think RPGs are really strong, so that's why I played it. Just strong cards, just strong in general. I played 4 heal cards. You could say, why didn't you play Uluwu? Because then you have a higher consistency. I believe the grade 3s, like the skills, you need it for this format more, because you just have some like ridiculous bullshit decks that just try to OTK you on the first grade 3 turn. So you need it, and that's really it. And having grade 3s, still super important, because as long as you have a grade 3 here by the you're fine. The one OT, Dark Side OT can really get countered or shit on, because your finger usually get BG'd. So the crit doesn't pass through most of the time. This is more flexible, and your drop zone is a secondary source then. Now for the G zone, I played 3 Ravanas because that's usually the perfect number. I played 1 history build. If I don't have pieces, I can at least search them out of my deck. 1 next stage because of chaos and stuff like that. I want to play 2nd next stage, but couldn't find them in time. So I instead went for the Kibushi package. These are not SP. Because of the fact that I was like so late into searching everything for, I didn't want to search for the SPs. And I landed this from event anyway. 1 dust, still super broken when you get all your pieces. History Vision, good G card, because it's like costless. And still gets you shield. Ravana, best G card in the gears. Panoa Chimera almost never comes up, you just want to have it just to be sure. Uluwu, super big G card, because you don't like farm as much hand as you usually did. So Uluwu comes up more as the biggest G card you have. 1 Hetra Hound, you have games where you ride CHRONOJET just to have Hetra Hound live. Because you go like Hetra or like CHRONOJET, ride Time Leaper. But then you ride back into CHRONOJET instead of like Soul Blessing to grade 3 out, so you can ride a grade 2. And with this you have more survivability that way. 2 beer look because it's mandatory, binds cards for you, sets a bind zone, free shield, whatever you want to name it. And then 1 harmonics. Harmonics is an expensive card. You need to play it, otherwise you don't play in premium. And then of course a bunch of markers. I never went first 2, always first 1. It's the best. Guardian ticket here and quick shield. That's the profile. Good luck. I will see you guys later. Goodbye.